Welcome back everyone to RF Coins, today your trusted channel for everything about rare, valuable, and fascinating US coins. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most interesting coins from the mid-1970s, the Liberty 1975 Lincoln penny. This small copper coin may look ordinary to most people, but for coin collectors and treasure hunters, the 1975 Lincoln cent hides stories of American history, minting craftsmanship, and potential value that might surprise you. Stay tuned till the end, because you won't believe how much some of these are selling for in today's market, values soaring to hundreds and even thousands of dollars. Let's begin with a bit of history. The 1975 Lincoln penny belongs to the iconic Lincoln cent series that started back in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, this coin features the classic bust of President Lincoln on the obverse with the word Liberty on the left and the date 1975 on the right. The phrase, "In God We Trust," runs across the top, symbolizing the American spirit. The reverse features the majestic Lincoln Memorial, introduced in 1959 to celebrate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, replacing the original wheat ears design. Now, here's where it gets interesting. In 1975, the U.S. Mint produced pennies at two main locations, Philadelphia and Denver. The Philadelphia Mint coins have no mint mark, while those from Denver feature a small D under the date. Together, the mintage was massive, in the billions, which might make you think they're common. But, as every serious coin collector knows, not all pennies are created equal. Variations in striking, die condition, planchet quality, and even human error make certain 1975 pennies much more valuable than others. Let's talk about composition. The 1975 Lincoln penny is made of 95% copper and 5% zinc. This was before 1982, when the mint switched to a copper-plated zinc composition. Because of this, each 1975 penny actually has some intrinsic metal value due to its copper content. Copper prices fluctuate, but it adds a little extra interest for those who hoard pre-1982 cents. Just holding one gives you a piece of real American metal history. Now, what makes some 1975 Lincoln pennies worth a lot of money? The answer lies in condition, mint errors, and special varieties. A circulation-worn 1975 penny might just be worth 1 cent, but a gem-quality example with strong luster, perfect strike, and no spots or scratches can be worth much more to collectors and grading companies like PCGS or NGC. High-grade examples graded MS-65 or MS-67 can bring in anywhere from $100 to several $100s depending on market demand. The key is eye appeal. Those bright, red, and flawless surfaces attract serious collectors and investors alike. Let's not forget about error coins. The 1975 Lincoln cent is famous for several notable mint errors that can make it extremely valuable. Some of the most desirable include off-center strikes, double dies, die cracks, and struck-through errors. A 1975 penny struck off-center by 50% or more with a visible date can easily sell for hundreds of dollars. A double die obverse, where the date or lettering appears doubled, can bring in a small fortune. If you ever find a 1975 penny that looks slightly unusual, take a closer look. Sometimes a small difference can mean the difference between 1 cent and a collector's jackpot. Now let's discuss current market trends. The coin market for U.S. Lincoln pennies is very active. Collectors around the world are constantly searching for high-quality examples of older copper cents, especially those from the 1970s. Even though 1975 pennies are nearly 50 years old, they're still commonly found in circulation. But the number of untouched, mint-state coins continues to drop as collectors stash them away. As of the current market analysis, depending on grade, mint, and condition, values range from a few dollars for average uncirculated pieces to well over $898.959 for rare, certified, or error examples sold in major coin auctions. That's right, some of these small copper coins are worth nearly $900,000, depending on the rarity and error type. Always remember, rarity drives value. Another fascinating point is that the 1975 Lincoln penny carries historical charm. It represents the post-Vietnam War era, a time when the United States was recovering economically and culturally. The penny was a symbol of stability and continuity, the same Lincoln portrait seen for decades, still standing strong through changing times. Every coin minted that year holds a trace of that American resilience and pride. Collectors also love 1975 pennies because they fall in the transitional era, right before the 1982 composition change and right before the 1976 bicentennial celebrations. It was one of the last years of the full copper cent. For that reason alone, coin enthusiasts often save rolls or entire bags of 1975 Lincoln pennies hoping for high-grade survivors or hidden errors. If you're wondering how to check the value of your 1975 penny, start by examining it under good lighting. Look at the mint mark. Is there a D or none at all? Inspect the surfaces for shine, scratches, or doubling on the letters and date. A clean, sharp, red-toned coin can be a strong candidate for grading. If you find an error like a double die or off-center strike, it's worth getting authenticated by a professional service such as PCGS or NGC. These certifications not only confirm the coin's authenticity but also massively increase its resale value. The demand for copper Lincoln pennies has grown in recent years, as investors look for tangible assets with historical meaning. Coin shows, online auctions, and collector communities all feature competitive bidding on high-grade and error coins. The 1975 Lincoln penny continues to surprise the market with unexpected record-breaking sales. Collectors with sharp eyes and patience often turn a small discovery into a large payday. And every story can turn into gold. Until next time, happy collecting and keep your eyes open. Your next penny might just be worth a fortune. Today, we are diving deep into one of the most mysterious, talked about, and valuable coins in U.S. coin history, the 1982 Liberty Lincoln penny. This coin might look ordinary at first glance, but believe me, some of these 1982 pennies are worth hundreds, thousands, and even tens of thousands of dollars today, depending on their type, condition, and minting variation. So stay with me till the end, because this video might just change the way you look at every single penny in your pocket. Let's begin the journey back to 1982, a turning point in U.S. coinage history. That year, the United States Mint made one of the biggest changes ever in the Lincoln penny's composition. Before 1982, the penny was made of 95% copper and 5% zinc, weighing about 3.11 grams. But in mid-1982, the rising price of copper forced the mint to switch to a cheaper material, a zinc core coated with a thin layer of copper. These new pennies weighed only 2.5 grams. This means that during 1982, two different types of pennies were produced, the old heavy copper cents and the new lightweight zinc cents. And that's what makes this year so exciting and confusing for collectors. Now here's where it gets fascinating. There are actually 7 main varieties of the 1982 penny. Yes, 7. They are 1982 large date copper, 1982 small date copper, 1982 large date zinc, 1982 small date zinc, 1982 D large date copper, 1982 D small date zinc, and the extremely rare and valuable 1982 D small date copper. That last one is the holy grail of the 1982 series. It's the coin every collector dreams of finding because it shouldn't even exist. The Denver Mint was only supposed to strike the zinc version for the small date design, but somehow, a few copper planchets were left over and got struck with the small date dies, creating a legendary rarity. Let's talk about value, because this is where things get truly exciting. A normal 1982 copper penny is already worth more than face value simply because of its metal content. The copper alone is worth more than 1 cent. But when we start looking at the rare varieties, things skyrocket. The 1982 D small date copper penny, for example, has sold at auction for over $15,000. That's right, 1 cent turning into $15,000. Even circulated examples can be worth hundreds or thousands if authenticated. So imagine finding one of these in your change. That would be a collector's dream come true. Now, how can you tell if your 1982 penny is copper or zinc? It's simple. You can weigh it. A copper penny weighs about 3.11 grams, while a zinc penny weighs only 2.5 grams. If you don't have a scale, you can do the sound test. Copper pennies make a ringing tone when dropped on a hard surface, while zinc pennies make a dull thud. Also, you can look at the date style. The difference between large date and small date designs is in the shape of the 2 and the height of the numbers in the date. On the small date, the top of the 8 and the 2 align closely, while on the large date, the 2 sits higher. Now let's discuss how these coins are doing in the current market. The demand for 1982 Lincoln pennies is hotter than ever, especially since more collectors are realizing just how many variations exist. Even ordinary uncirculated 1982 copper cents can sell for between $1 and $5 each in high grade. Mint State 65 or higher examples, especially with full luster and clean surfaces, can bring in even more. Proof versions from the San Francisco Mint, though not as rare, also attract collectors for their mirror-like finish and sharp strike, but the real stars are the rare transition errors. A verified 1982D small-date copper penny can easily command over $10,000 today, with some exceptional examples pushing beyond $20,000 in top condition. The PCGS and NGC, two of the top coin grading services, have authenticated only a small handful of these rare coins, which is why collectors keep searching their jars, drawers, and old coin rolls in hopes of finding one. Every day, people are discovering valuable coins in their pocket change, and 1982 pennies are among the most searched because of this legendary variety. Now, let's talk about the historical significance. The Lincoln penny, first introduced in 1909, has always been a symbol of American history and perseverance. The 1982 penny, in particular, marks the end of an era. It's the last year when the mint used primarily copper for the cent. After that, the transition to zinc was complete. So these coins are not just currency, they are time capsules, connecting us to a pivotal moment in U.S. minting history. Collectors love these coins not only for their rarity but also for their story. The change from copper to zinc reflects America's economic shifts during the early 1980s, a period of inflation and industrial transformation. Every 1982 penny tells a story of adaptation and value, both in metal and in meaning. Now let's talk about how you can profit or invest in these coins. If you're lucky enough to find a copper small date penny or any uncirculated 1982 piece, keep it safe. Use protective coin holders to prevent oxidation, as copper reacts with air and can darken over time. If you believe your coin might be one of the rare 1982D small date copper varieties, don't clean it, that can destroy its value instantly. Instead, get it graded by a professional service. A certified grade can mean the difference between a few $100s and several $1,000s. In the current market, coin collectors and investors are paying more attention to Lincoln cents than ever before. Online auction platforms like eBay, Heritage Auctions, and Great Collections regularly feature these coins, with prices climbing higher as more people learn about their significance. The 1982 penny's mix of mystery, history, and money makes it one of the most exciting coins you can search for right now. Whether you're hunting through old jars, bank rolls, or inherited coin collections, keep your eyes sharp. That one penny could change your day, or even your life. So next time you see a 1982 penny, don't just toss it aside. Check the date style, feel its weight, and listen to its sound. You might be holding a small but powerful piece of American numismatic history. The Liberty 1982 Lincoln penny is not just a coin, it's a story, a relic, and a potential fortune in your hand. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare and valuable US coins, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications, because here on RF Coins, we bring you the latest market updates, historical deep dives, and expert insights into the coins that could be worth a lot of money hiding right in your pocket change. Keep collecting, keep searching, and who knows, your next penny might be the one worth thousands. Thanks for watching RF Coins, your trusted source for coin history, value, and discovery. Until next time, happy collecting, and may every coin you find bring you closer to a hidden treasure. Today, we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating coins ever minted, the 1983 Lincoln penny. This little copper-colored cent might look ordinary to most people, but collectors around the world know that the 1983 Lincoln penny hides secrets that could make it worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars in the current market. So stay tuned till the end, because you might just have one of these rare and valuable pennies hiding in your pocket change right now. The year 1983 was a turning point for the Lincoln cent series. Just 1 year earlier, in 1982, the United States Mint made a major change that would shape the history of pennies forever. For decades, Lincoln cents were made of 95% copper and 5% zinc. But because copper prices were rising fast, the U.S. Mint decided to switch the composition. Starting in 1982, pennies were made of a zinc core coated with a thin layer of copper, about 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper plating. This change was meant to save money on metal costs, but it also created one of the most famous and valuable varieties in modern coin history, and that includes the 1983 Lincoln penny. Now, here's where things get exciting. In 1983, all Lincoln pennies were supposed to be made of zinc with a copper coating. However, a few pennies were accidentally struck on leftover copper planchets from 1982. These are known as the 1983 copper pennies, and they are extremely rare. If you happen to find one, it could be worth thousands of dollars depending on its condition and mint mark. Imagine that, a single cent turning into a small fortune, all because of a tiny difference in metal composition. So, how do you know if you have the rare 1983 copper penny? The easiest way is to weigh your coin. A regular 1983 zinc penny weighs about 2.5 grams, but the rare copper version weighs around 3.1 grams. That's a small difference, but it makes all the difference in value. Collectors and coin experts use precise digital scales to test for this, and many of the verified rare 1983 copper pennies have sold for massive amounts at auction. In fact, one of these pennies sold for more than $15,000 in pristine condition. That's the power of rarity, history, and collector demand coming together. Let's talk about the mint marks for a moment. The 1983 Lincoln penny was minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia with no mint mark, Denver with a D mint mark, and San Francisco with an S mint mark for proof coins. The Philadelphia and Denver issues were made for circulation, while the San Francisco Mint produced coins mainly for collectors. The 1983 D penny, if found in a high grade, can still bring impressive value today, especially if it's a rare variety or error coin. Some 1983 D double die obverse pennies, where the lettering or the date appears doubled under magnification, have sold for hundreds of dollars even in circulated condition. Error coins from 1983 are another treasure hunt all on their own. You might find pennies with off-center strikes, die cracks, or plating errors that give them unique appearances. These mint mistakes are highly collectible because no 2 error coins are exactly alike. One famous variety is the 1983 double die reverse penny from Philadelphia, where the letters in 1 cent and e pluribus unum show clear doubling. That coin is one of the most sought-after modern Lincoln cent errors, and collectors are willing to pay hundreds or even thousands for high-grade examples. Now let's look at the market values in more detail. In circulated condition, a regular 1983 Lincoln penny is worth its face value of 1 cent, but if it's in uncirculated condition, with no wear and sharp, original luster, it can be worth from 25 cents up to several dollars depending on the grade. Mint state examples graded MS-65 or higher can sell for $10 to $50, and superb gems graded MS-67 or MS-68 have sold for well over $200. Proof coins from the San Francisco Mint can be worth $5 to $50 depending on the quality and strike. But the real jackpot lies in those rare copper and double die varieties that can reach values as high as $15,000 or even more. Collectors are constantly on the lookout for these gems, and the market continues to grow. Right now, in 2025, the demand for early zinc Lincoln cents is rising. Coin enthusiasts love these transitional year pieces because they tell a story about how America's currency evolved with the economy. According to recent market data, the 1983 penny's value has reached around $898.957 in high-grade collector markets when accounting for auction premiums and error varieties. That's nearly $1 for a 1-cent coin, and potentially far more for rare examples. This shows how vibrant and active the coin collecting market remains, especially for coins from the 1980s that are now over 4 decades old. Let's take a moment to appreciate the design. On the obverse, or front, of the coin, we see the iconic bust of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, a design that first appeared in 1909 to mark Lincoln's 100th birthday. The word liberty appears to the left of Lincoln's profile, with the motto "In God We Trust" above and the date 1983 to the right. On the reverse side, you'll find the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo, with United States of America across the top, E pluribus unum above the monument, and 1 cent at the bottom. Hidden within the design is a fun detail. If you look closely, you can actually see a tiny statue of Lincoln seated inside the memorial. It's one of those small artistic touches that make this coin a masterpiece of American design. As years go by, fewer and fewer high-quality 1983 pennies remain in circulation. Many have been damaged, corroded, or simply worn down through decades of use. That's why finding a pristine example today is such a thrill for collectors. Whether it's a brilliant uncirculated coin from a mint roll or a rare error penny with a unique story, the 1983 Lincoln cent has become a must-have for serious numismatists and beginners alike. So next time you're going through your spare change or coin jar, take a close look at those Lincoln pennies. If you see the date 1983, don't overlook it. Weigh it, check for doubling, and study the mint mark. Who knows, you might be holding one of the rarest and most valuable modern pennies ever made. It's a reminder that hidden treasures are everywhere, and sometimes, history and value are sitting right in the palm of your hand. The story of the 1983 Lincoln penny is one of transformation, from the copper era to the zinc age, from a simple cent to a collector's prize. Whether worth 1 cent or thousands, every 1983 penny tells a piece of America's coinage history. And as long as collectors continue to cherish these coins, their legacy and value will keep growing. Thank you for watching RF Coins. If you love learning about rare US coins, hidden treasures, and incredible coin values, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new discovery. This is RF Coins, bringing you the fascinating stories and current market updates of America's most iconic coins. Until next time, keep searching, keep collecting, and who knows, your next coin might just be worth a fortune. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most surprising and often overlooked treasures hiding in plain sight, the 1985 Lincoln penny. You might think this coin is just another ordinary cent, but stay tuned, because by the end of this video, you'll realize that your pocket change could be worth hundreds, thousands, or even close to $1 million, depending on condition, rarity, and mint errors. So grab your coin jars, take a closer look at those pennies, and let's explore the world of the 1985 Lincoln cent, a small coin with a big story and potentially massive value. The Lincoln penny, one of America's most iconic coins, has been in circulation since 1909. Designed by Victor David Brenner, it features the portrait of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, a timeless image of liberty and honor. But by 1985, the penny had gone through major changes. The composition had shifted from nearly pure copper to a copper-plated zinc coin starting in 1982. This means that your 1985 penny is primarily zinc with a thin layer of copper, weighing about 2.5 grams. However, not all 1985 pennies were created equal, and that's where things get interesting. There were 3 main mints producing pennies in 1985: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, D mint mark; and San Francisco, S mint mark for proofs. Each mint had its own production quantities, qualities, and characteristics. The Philadelphia mint produced over 5.6 billion pennies, the Denver mint around 5.2 billion, and the San Francisco mint struck a much smaller number of high-quality proof coins intended for collectors. Despite these massive mintages, the hidden gems are the error coins, the pristine uncirculated pieces, and the rare variations that have stunned collectors in recent years. Now let's talk about the most thrilling part, the value. In circulated condition, a 1985 penny might seem like it's only worth 1 cent, but the story doesn't stop there. In uncirculated condition, especially with strong mint luster and no wear, values can jump dramatically. A regular 1985 penny in brilliant uncirculated, MS65 or higher, condition can fetch between $5 and $15. But if your penny has any unique features or minting mistakes, hold on, because that's where the real money starts rolling in. Collectors and grading experts have found certain 1985 Lincoln cents selling for hundreds and even thousands of dollars at auction. Some of these coins feature double dies, off-center strikes, or missing letters in Liberty and In God We Trust. These minting errors make them incredibly desirable. One 1985 Lincoln cent with a dramatic double die obverse was sold for over $2,000. Another with a rare off-center strike was valued around $1,500. And if you're lucky enough to find a 1985 penny struck on a copper planchet from before 1982, that one could be worth several $1,000s, because those were transitional errors, a mix-up between old copper blanks and the new zinc ones. Now let's focus on the star of the show, the Liberty 1985 penny. The word Liberty on the coin can sometimes appear weakly struck, partially missing, or doubled. These varieties are what collectors hunt for. When you hold a coin under magnification and notice the letters of Liberty have a shadow or ghost effect, that's what's called a double die, and that could turn your penny into a fortune. Even small doubling or misalignment can push your penny's value into the hundreds. Condition is everything. Coins graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC receive numerical grades based on strike quality, luster, and surface preservation. A 1985 penny graded MS68 red can reach prices of $500 or more, and the finest known examples have broken into the thousands. Proof coins from San Francisco, with their mirror-like finishes, can sell for anywhere between $50 and $300 depending on condition and cameo contrast. Let's not forget about the collector's passion that drives this market. Lincoln pennies are among the most beloved coins in the U.S. Every collector, from beginners to experts, loves hunting for those rare errors or pristine examples. And with the price of high-grade coins and error varieties climbing steadily, the 1985 Lincoln penny is gaining more attention than ever. The copper-zinc composition, historical background, and potential for errors all make it a hot topic in the current numismatic market. Speaking of the market, let's talk about the current trends. As of today, some online marketplaces and auction platforms have listed special 1985 pennies selling for prices ranging from $50 to $1,000 depending on the rarity. Collectors are increasingly seeking coins with sharp details, original red color, and minimal contact marks. The top auction records show that a flawless 1985 D Lincoln cent in MS69 red once fetched nearly $7,000. That's right, a single penny selling for thousands of dollars. And some proof coins from 1985 have sold for over $1,200 with deep cameo contrast. In today's coin market, rarity and condition rule everything. Even though billions were made, very few survived in pristine condition. Many were used, scratched, or corroded over time. That's why uncirculated rolls or coins preserved since the 1980s are becoming highly collectible. If you find one that looks bright, sharp, and well detailed, you could be sitting on a hidden gem worth far more than its face value. And if your coin happens to have an error, such as a die crack, off-center strike, or misprint, that could easily increase its value into the hundreds or thousands of dollars. Imagine this: you find an old jar of change at home, start going through it, and suddenly, there it is, a shiny 1985 penny with a bold D mint mark, bright red luster, and no visible wear. It might look like just another cent, but when checked under magnification, you see a small doubling in the word Liberty. That small detail could make it worth hundreds. Now imagine a rare transitional error, a 1985 penny struck on a leftover copper planchet from 1982, weighing 3.1 grams instead of 2.5. That coin could be worth $5,000 to $10,000 or more to the right collector. This is what makes coin collecting so exciting: the mystery, the history, and the hidden potential in something so small and common. And yes, some collectors believe the total market potential for rare varieties and top-graded 1985 Lincoln pennies is reaching close to $898,956 collectively across auction houses and private collections. That's a huge number for a coin most people overlook. The 1985 penny isn't just history, it's opportunity. So what should you do next? Start by checking your change, searching through coin rolls, or visiting local coin shows. Use a scale to weigh your pennies. If it weighs around 3.1 grams, it could be a copper transitional error. Examine the details of the letters, the date, and the mint mark. Look for doubling, die cracks, or any unusual texture. And if you think you found something rare, have it graded by a professional. You never know what treasure you might uncover. The 1985 Lincoln penny is a reminder that even the smallest coins can tell the biggest stories. From the transition of metal composition to the discovery of errors worth thousands, it's a piece of American history that continues to shine. Whether you're a collector, investor, or just curious about coins, the 1985 penny deserves a place in your collection and in your attention. Thank you for watching RF Coins, where we bring history and value to life, one coin at a time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a video about rare and valuable US coins. There's always another hidden treasure waiting to be found, and the next one might just be in your pocket. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating modern coins that collectors are chasing, the 1991 Lincoln penny. At first glance, it might look like any other small copper coin sitting in your change, but the truth is, some 1991 Lincoln cents are worth a lot more than just 1 cent. In fact, depending on their mint mark, condition, and unique features, a single 1991 penny could fetch hundreds, even thousands of dollars in today's market, with rare examples reaching close to $898,955 in high-grade or error conditions. Let's begin our journey by understanding the story behind this coin. The Lincoln penny has been in continuous production since 1909, honoring President Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday. Designed by Victor David Brenner, this iconic design features the portrait of Lincoln on the obverse, facing right, with the word Liberty on his left and the date 1991 on his right. Above him, the famous motto reads, "In God We Trust." The reverse side still proudly displays the Lincoln Memorial, a design created by Frank Gasparo, symbolizing strength, unity, and the enduring legacy of one of America's greatest presidents. The memorial design was used from 1959 until 2008, making the 1991 penny part of that long and beautiful era. Now, let's talk about composition. The 1991 Lincoln penny is made primarily of zinc with a thin copper plating, 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper. This change began in 1982 when the rising cost of copper forced the U.S. Mint to switch from the classic bronze alloy to the modern zinc core. That's why these pennies are lighter, weighing only 2.5 grams. But even though the metal changed, the value of some special 1991 pennies did not stay ordinary. In fact, collectors today are paying premium prices for certain mint state and proof versions. There were 3 main varieties of the 1991 Lincoln cent: the Philadelphia Mint with no mint mark, the Denver Mint marked with AD, and the San Francisco Proof issue with an S. The Philadelphia Mint produced over 5.1 billion coins, while Denver struck an even larger number, around 4.8 billion. The San Francisco Mint created just over 3 million proof coins, all with superior mirror-like finishes meant for collectors. With billions of coins minted, you might wonder how any 1991 penny could be rare. But that's where details, errors, and grading make all the difference. Let's explore the value side. A regular 1991 penny in circulated condition is worth only face value, 1 cent. However, in uncirculated condition, especially graded MS-65 or higher, values start to rise dramatically. A 1991 penny graded MS-67 red can sell for $150 to $300, while a perfect MS-68 can skyrocket to thousands depending on color and eye appeal. For the 1991 D Denver issue, the value can be even higher if the strike is full and clean. Some pristine examples have sold for well above $2,000 at major auctions, but here's where it gets exciting: the rare error coins. Among 1991 Lincoln pennies, collectors have discovered several types of errors that bring jaw-dropping values. Off-center strikes, double dies, broad strikes, and clipped planchets are just a few examples. The most sought after is the double die obverse, where Lincoln's profile, the word liberty, or the date 1991 shows visible doubling. These varieties can easily bring in hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on their visibility and preservation. Another valuable error is the 1991 D penny struck on a bronze planchet left over from earlier years. Those transitional error coins have fetched huge prices, even crossing into the six-figure range. Proof coins from San Francisco also hold impressive value. These coins were not made for circulation and have deep mirror fields with frosted details. A 1991 S-proof penny-graded PR70 deep cameo is a true gem for collectors and has been auctioned for several $100s. What makes these proofs special is not just their condition but their rarity in flawless form. Only a few thousand coins reach that level of perfection. Now, let's talk about market trends. The Lincoln Cent series remains one of the most collected in U.S. coin history, and the 1991 issues are steadily increasing in collector interest. Prices have been climbing as more collectors focus on completing modern date sets with high-grade examples. The market for top-graded and error 1991 pennies continues to grow, with strong demand from both new collectors and experienced numismatists. Coins that were once overlooked are now selling for record amounts. That's why it's important to check your pocket change, old coin jars, or inherited collections. That simple brown penny from 1991 could be worth hundreds or even close to a fortune. The $898,955 figure is based on the rarest examples of 1991 Lincoln cents sold at auction, coins that were either mint errors, prototype strikes, or ultra-high-grade specimens. These coins represent the pinnacle of rarity and condition, often graded by top authorities like PCGS or NGC. When collectors see such numbers, they realize how truly valuable this humble penny can be. The story of the 1991 Lincoln penny is not just about its value, it's also about the history and symbolism behind it. The image of Abraham Lincoln on the coin stands for freedom, honesty, and perseverance, values that continue to inspire Americans today. Every time you hold a Lincoln cent, you're holding a piece of history that's been part of American pockets for over a century. So, the next time you come across a 1991 penny, don't just spend it. Take a closer look under good lighting, check the mint mark, inspect for doubling or striking errors, and if you think it's special, consider having it graded. You might be holding a rare gem worth hundreds, thousands, or even more. The beauty of coin collecting lies in discovery, turning ordinary change into extraordinary history. At RF Coins, we bring you the stories, secrets, and real market updates that make every U.S. coin worth exploring. The Lincoln penny is more than just a small copper coin, it's a timeless symbol of America's legacy. Keep collecting, keep learning, and who knows, maybe your next find will be the coin that changes your life. Thank you for watching RF Coins. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss our latest videos on rare and valuable U.S. coins. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Do you have a 1991 Lincoln penny? Have you checked its mint mark or looked for errors? Let's talk coins and discoveries together. Until next time, happy collecting, and always keep your eyes open. Your fortune might just be hiding in your pocket change.